Hi, I'm Kate Copeman. I'm the Global Fragrance Development Manager for Airwick. My job involves working with our marketing teams and also talking to consumers about what fragrance they want from Airwick and what's the next big fragrance we want to launch. And then I work with our fragrance houses and the perfumers there to commission and create the new fragrances for Airwick. I became a fragrance manager not through a long plan of wanting to work in fragrances originally. I left school and went to university to do a degree in chemistry and then moved into, when I left university, started working in product development. So I worked on personal care products, so deodorants and products like that, and then moved into working on household products and started working on developing air fresheners. So I was always in product development. But I've always had a very big interest in fragrance and a real passion for them in my personal life. So when the opportunity came up to move into working in fragrance development, I snapped up the opportunity and have been doing that ever since. My typical day really isn't a typical day. From day to day I do lots of different things, but I spend my time sometimes in meetings with our marketing team, understanding what the next fragrances they want to launch, and looking at consumer research, because we go and talk to Airwick buyers to see what fragrances they want. But I also spend a lot of my time working with the technical research and development teams, because it's really important we get the fragrances to work in the product and also perform really great in consumers' homes so it lasts a long time in the air. And then a big portion of my time, which is the best bit, is working with the fragrance houses to create the fragrances and then actually evaluate them and help guide, create the best fragrances. The bit that interests me most about my job, and I guess the bit I enjoy the most, is actually evaluating the fragrances that we might potentially launch in Airwick. I'm fascinated by the world of perfumery and creating fragrances, and I personally love fine fragrances and all different types of smell, so I take great pleasure in evaluating them and assessing what makes up all the different notes of a fragrance. One aspect of my job that I actually really enjoy is I get to travel to some really interesting countries around the world. Not only do I create fragrances for the UK, America for example, I get to travel to countries like China and India to learn what consumers want from a fragrance there, which could be quite different to what someone in the UK may want from a fragrance. One of the highlights of my career being a fragrance manager was actually when Airwick got awarded the Best Home Care Fragrance 2010 for Smooth Satin and Moon Lily. The award was from the British Society of Perfumers, and what was great about winning that award was not only in Airwick do we try and develop great fragrances for our consumers, but the award was a recognition from some industry experts that the fragrance was fantastic. If you want to go beyond the normal 9 to 5, I guess, and move into a career or a job choice, something that you're really passionate in, my advice would be to learn a lot about that area, find a lot of contacts and areas where you can get a lot of experience in that, so you're able to move into that role as easy as possible, and really go for it. There's lots of areas where people don't think they can work in those particular, or don't know they can work in those particular areas. So, my advice is just go for it. If you want to go beyond the 9 to 5, a good place to start is have a look at rb.com/careers.